guys, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to cook a Risotto Milanese, which is basically a saffron risotto. You should need about 25 to 35 minutes and it's enough for 2 hungry persons. We have very few ingredients again, and make sure that they are high quality, and let's take a look. So we have 400 grams of Carnaroli risotto rice, which is supposedly the best one for risotto. Then we have extra virgin olive oil, 1 glass of white wine. Then we have cheese, which is Parmigiano Reggiano, so Parmesan cheese basically. 2 to 3 shallots, no onions please, just pure shallots. 1 to 3 cloves of garlic as personal preference. 1 gram of saffron, preferably grated. Here I have some strings because the supermarket didn't have any more grated. Then you have vegetable stock or bouillon in a ratio 4:1 to risotto. We also have butter and some lemon for garnish. So we basically use the skin of the lemon, grate it off, and put it on the risotto to give it a nice fresh flavor. That's all about the ingredients, and let's get cooking. So we peel the shallots and then we cut them into very small pieces. You can also grate them if you cannot chop very thinly. So I'm chopping here, but you can also grate them. Make sure that each piece is no bigger than 1 slice of risotto rice. So you don't want a big chunks of onion here. So cut them really small. And alternatively you can grate them, as I said. Same goes for garlic. So I crunch them down, I peeled them of course, and then I cut them roughly because I will use a garlic press here, but you can also grate them into it. So grate the garlic, I mean. So that's basically 2 loads of garlic for the garlic press. Then we will heat some water. Read the instructions on your bouillon or your stock. Be careful, it might be very salty on its own, so you don't need to add any additional salt, but you have to try that, and it depends really on your bouillon or your stock, the stock you will use. So you might add salt or you don't. Here, this is very salty on its own, so I didn't add any salt extra. So we heat this up. Looks a lot, but people tend to use not enough stock, and it should go in a ratio 4:1. Then we heat butter and extra virgin olive oil, and you see the stock is already starting to cook and heat up. A little bit of olive oil, heat it up. Now we add the shallots. And the first load of garlic. You see here? This is no bigger than a rice corn, so that's totally fine. But as I said, you can also grate it. Then we want to remove the acidity of the onions and everything. So cook them a bit. And you already smell it. Butter, olive oil, onions and garlic releasing their flavors. Amazing. Don't burn it brown. So now I'll put the rest of the garlic. And here we go. So in total I added 2 loads of garlic to that. You don't want to have that burnt. So you can reduce the heat if you want to. But it shouldn't get brown or even black. That would be bad. But just cook them, not burn them. They shall just remove their flavors, and that's about it. Now we add the saffron. Stir it a little bit. And for the strings I used to put them in a little bit of water so they can already release their color. So the first load. Usually you want grated saffron here because you will see the strings in the risotto later on. It could be an artistic choice, but I would prefer to have them grated as well so you don't see it. Now you add the risotto, 400 grams, and stir it around. And it already takes the nice yellow color of the saffron, and I add the rest of the saffron. So now it's time for wine. So yeah, one nice glass of white wine should do the job, and you want to stir that around as well. And we want the natural sweetness of the wine. Here we go. You actually have to cook the alcohol off basically, but in the first moments you can stir it. Once the alcohol is gone and we just have the sweetness of the wine, we pour in some of the stock and stir immediately. So we don't put everything at once, so poco a poco basically, step by step. A little bit of stock, stirring until the stock is gone, and we add more stock, we stir again, then we add more stock, and so on, and you do that. So the risotto will possibly tell you that it needs 60 minutes. I would go for a feeling here, maybe 14 to 18 minutes, depending on how much. We want to stir it all the time so you don't leave a risotto, because once we reduce a little bit of heat, like heat reduction, because we don't want it boiling. So with, yeah, you see, I stop stirring and it starts boiling. And when you stir, we knock it off the boil. And we also make sure it cooks evenly. That's crucial. We add more stock, stir, more stock, and more stock, and stir again. Yeah, I did that for about 10 to 15 minutes. Important here though, I didn't use all of my stock. I used basically 80 to 90% of it because it felt ready. So yeah, remember, risotto is not a pudding and it should be al dente and not, yeah, it should walk around the table and not be like liquid. And now we add Parmesan cheese, grate it just onto it. I reduce the heat a little bit for this, so it's not boiling all the time, but you see how fast it gets to the boil. Cheese, who doesn't like it? So just put as much as you want. Move it a little bit, but I would take the heat to medium and let it rest a little bit so the cheese has time to melt and sunk in. And we're gonna add a butter, 1, 2, 3 tablespoons maybe, yeah. And now we wait a bit, add a bit of Parmesan cheese again, and now you see it really sinks into the risotto. Give it 1 or 2 minutes and after start stirring. So risotto really can take off the flavor of the cheese and the butter, and there it is. That's about it, guys. I added a little bit of lemon peel, grated onto it for a little bit of flavor, and here we go. It shouldn't run off the table, it should be nice al dente, and enjoy your meal. Saffron risotto, a risotto Milanese. It is an amazing simple dish, and it will give you an explosion of flavors on your tongue, and I hope you like it. Let me know what your outcome was like, and see you soon here on the channel.